All right. So we're less than a week away from the date of the Super Falcons friendly match against the Portuguese women's national team. And so far, so good. We have no movement on our side of things, no list of players invited, no pictures of players arriving in camp. And all we have is this post right here made by the Super Falcons official X handle. And it goes, "Prep camp starts soon." So they're not even mentioning the match. They're talking about the prep camp for the women's AFCON, which kicks off on the 5th of July. And then on the other side, the Portuguese side, there's no mention of the Super Falcons friendly. This post was the last one made dealing with the women's national team. It says, "Smiles and good mood in training, Women's Euros 2025." So nothing about the Super Falcons on there. You see the team in training. And if they had a friendly match against the Super Falcons, I'm pretty sure they would have put something about it in this post right here. So that's another hint right there. And at the end, it definitely begs the question: is this match gonna hold? I don't think it's a crazy question at this point in time. But that being said, I'll definitely keep you guys updated on yay or nay, with the game hold or not. So stay tuned to this channel. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. And another thing I wanted to talk about, I think I got a couple more things to get into. Chiamaka Nnadozie, of course, over the weekend we talked about her parting ways with Paris FC. That was after 5.5 years at the club. Some real good memories with the club, ending with the Women's French Cup title that she won, defeating PSG in the final penalty shootout. Of course, she came up trumps in that. Now, outside of leaving the club, I think the next big news was what club was she gonna go next. There was the talk about her signing with Everton, a pre-contract like a month ago. The reports came out that she had signed a pre-contract with Everton, and yeah, today would have been the day that we found out if that was true or false. Well, in my opinion, today would have been the day, because today was the opening day of the transfer window for the Women's Super League, the top flight in England. And I'm thinking, if you've already signed a player before the transfer window is open, the first thing you would do once the transfer window opens is to announce that you have signed such player. Now, I might be wrong, but that's just the way I'm seeing it. So, I don't know. Not saying that Chiamaka didn't sign with Everton, but the signs right here looking like she didn't sign with them, because there's no announcement from either side. Now, that doesn't mean a deal still can't be done, or that Chiamaka is not going to Everton. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, I don't think she is already signed with Everton. That's all I'm saying. I think her options are still open. She's still trying to make the best decision for her going forward in the future. And I also have to correct something I said in the last video. I think I said she was going to sign with a club before the WAFCON. Not too sure about that. The WAFCON is just right around the corner, and I'm thinking she might just want to focus on the WAFCON. Then after the competition, you make a decision like that. That's what I would be thinking. Of course, there is the risk going into a competition without a team, but at the same time, you want to make the best decision for yourself. So you want to have a clear head and just have time to really think about the next move that you're going to make, and not be thinking about two things at once, thinking about the WAFCON while you're thinking about a team. So I'm thinking she's probably going to kick the can down the road and focus on the WAFCON at the moment. Then after the WAFCON, make that decision. That's I might be wrong. I'm just throwing things out there, by the way. But last but not least, what I wanted to talk about last but not least, no, I'm just playing. Super Falcons goalkeeping situation. The Super Falcons goalkeeping situation is not bad. We have one of the best goalkeepers in the world, the best goalkeeper in the African continent. But after that, it gets ugly, and it could get ugly. If God forbid something happens to Chiamaka Nnadozie, the options are real slim. They are very, very slim. Reasons why? Chiamaka Nnadozie has been in goal. We've not really had too many chances to test out other goalkeepers. And when it comes to the other goalkeepers, it's basically been a revolving door. You just come in for that one camp. Next thing you know, somebody else comes in. Next thing you know, somebody else comes in. There's nobody that has really cemented that second spot. Then you look at the league, we do have some goalkeepers, but they lack experience. And how do they get that experience when they're not playing in competitions, when they're not playing for the national team and things like that? I don't know. Yeah, that's the problem we have right now. We don't have a second choice goalkeeper. Tochukwu Alohi was the second choice goalkeeper, and you look at that, that's a goalkeeper that could, at least her last time in the national team, she could have kept for just about any team in the continent and being their first choice goalkeeper, and she was our second choice. So we were spoiled for a couple of years there, even though the NFL tried to put a leg in that situation by suspending Tochukwu Alohi after the last WAFCON, my bad. We've had two of the best goalkeepers on the continent on our roster for a few years now. And now we don't, and that's the issue. Like I said, players have not been given chances. I think when players have been given chances, the choices have not been good enough from the coaches. Even Justin Madugu, I give him a lot of credit for the job he has done with the national team in his interim time. But at the same time, the goalkeeping selection has not been good. Even when we played Algeria, the goalkeeper that played that second leg, not the best choice. We watched the league. If you watch the league, she was not the best choice. So I think they're not selecting the best choice from the league. And at the same time, even if you do, that player doesn't have the experience required to be able to step in a situation like this. So we're in a tough place right now. We're really in a tough place when it comes to the goalkeeping situation. I feel like we should follow protocol. The youth teams, you promote the players needfully. Like you look at the last under-20 World Cup, I was really angry with the coach during that competition, because you have a Faye Omilana who finished third at not who finished, because she wasn't the only one. She was part of the team that finished third at the under-17 World Cup. And even for the whole team, I know we're talking about only goalkeepers right now, but the whole team was disrespected. That team that finished third, you go to the under-20 level and the coach is calling all these players, and you're like, bro, these people finished third. They did something no other Nigerian team at that level had done, and you didn't even promote them. You didn't even give them any kind of chance, not a call up to camp or things like that. And that's what's really killing our national team at the top level, because you got these junior coaches. I don't know if they're infighting, if they got issues with themselves or issues with the players. I don't know. But what I do know is the coach invited Faye Omilana even for the last World Cup. She was there during qualification. You putting goalkeepers, a goalkeeper from your team made like 3 or 4 mistakes. You're still using this goalkeeper. You go to the World Cup until mistakes were made. That's when you give Faye Omilana those final 2 games, then the game in the knockout stage, and we're like, what's up? Why? Let these players continue to grow. Your job is to let them continue to grow, but you're here trying to prove yourself as I don't know what. I was really not happy with the coach for what he did at the under-20 level, because you seem like a hater right there. Players do what they did, and now you're making every excuse not to pick them. Then you get to the club level, and for some teams, it's almost like they have too many goalkeepers, and their goalkeepers are getting in their own way, because you don't have a steady number one, and you're not talking about a 32 game season. You're talking about what, 14 games. Then you go to the Super 6. You might play 5. You might play 6 at the Super 6. So you don't have too many games as a goalkeeper in the NWFL. I feel like that also plays a part. But let me know your thoughts on the Super Falcons goalkeeping situation. Do you think I'm overreacting when I say the Super Falcons might be in trouble if Chiamaka Nnadozie goes down? Or you feel like, yeah, we don't really have too many options outside our number one goalkeeper, even though she's the best goalkeeper in Africa. We don't really have too many options outside of her. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Put it in the comment section. Make sure to like this video, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.